Is your creative flow suddenly hitting a brick wall? Are your brilliant prompts bouncing back with a cryptic message about limits? You're not alone. We've all been there, staring at our screens, wondering, where did my Gemini limits go, and how do I check them now? It used to be simpler, right? A clear, concise display of your usage, a straightforward understanding of how much you had left. But things change, especially in the rapidly evolving world of AI. Today, we're diving deep to unravel this mystery, cut through the confusion, and give you a crystal clear answer. Let's start by acknowledging the elephant in the room. AI models, like Gemini, are complex systems. They're constantly being refined, updated, and optimized. This means the way we interact with them, including how we monitor usage, can shift. What was true yesterday might not be true today. Why does this matter? Well, if you're a content creator, a developer, a researcher, or even just someone who relies on Gemini for daily tasks, understanding your limits is crucial. It dictates how much you can achieve, how efficiently you can work, and ultimately, how you can maximize the potential of this powerful tool. Now, before we get into the how, let's address the why. Why are limits even necessary? It's not about restricting your creativity, it's about ensuring a sustainable and equitable experience for everyone. AI models require significant computational resources. Without limits, a few heavy users could monopolize these resources, impacting the performance and availability for everyone else. Think of it like a highway. During rush hour, traffic management is essential to prevent gridlock. Similarly, usage limits help manage the flow of requests, ensuring that everyone gets a fair share of the computational power. But where did the old, seemingly straightforward limit displays go? This is where things get a bit nuanced. The way limits are managed and displayed can vary depending on several factors, including the specific Gemini model you're using. Different models might have different usage policies and tracking methods. The platform or service you're accessing Gemini through, whether you're using the API, a web interface, or a specific application, the interface and reporting mechanisms can differ. Your usage tier or subscription plan. If you're using a free tier, a paid subscription, or an enterprise account, your limits and reporting will likely vary. The type of request you're making. Some requests, like generating large amounts of code or processing complex images, might consume more resources than simple text-based interactions. So, how do you actually check your limits now? Unfortunately, there isn't a single, universal answer. It's not a simple button you click. But we can break it down into actionable steps. 1. Check the official documentation. This is your first and most reliable source of information. Google's official documentation for Gemini should provide the most up-to-date details on usage policies and limits. Search for terms like Gemini usage limits, Gemini quotas, or Gemini API limits. 2. Explore the API console, if applicable. If you're accessing Gemini through the API, the Google Cloud Console or a similar platform will likely have a section dedicated to quotas and usage. Look for dashboards or monitoring tools that display your API usage and remaining limits. This is where you can often get detailed information about your resource consumption. 3. Monitor error messages. While not ideal, error messages can provide clues about your usage limits. If you're consistently receiving messages like quota exceeded or resource limit reached, it's a clear indication that you've hit a limit. Pay close attention to the specific error code and message, as they can provide valuable insights into the type of limit you've encountered. 4. Check your subscription or account settings. If you're using a paid subscription or an enterprise account, your account settings or billing portal might provide information about your usage limits and consumption. Look for sections related to billing, usage, or quotas. 5. Contact support. If you're still unsure about your limits after exploring the documentation and your account settings, don't hesitate to contact Google Cloud Support or the support team for the specific platform you're using. They can provide personalized assistance and clarify any questions you have. 6. Understand token usage. A fundamental concept in understanding Gemini limits is token usage. Tokens are essentially pieces of words. When you send a request to Gemini, it breaks down your input into tokens. The number of tokens you use directly impacts your resource consumption. Many platforms will give a count of tokens used within a response. Pay attention to those numbers. It is a vital clue to how much a single prompt is costing you in terms of usage. 7. Monitor your activity. Keep track of your usage patterns. If you notice a sudden increase in error messages or a decrease in performance, it might be a sign that you're approaching or exceeding your limits. Maintaining a log of your activity can help you identify trends and patterns in your usage. 8. Look for updates and announcements. The world of AI is constantly evolving. Google frequently releases updates and announcements regarding Gemini. Stay informed by following official blogs, social media channels, and developer forums. This will help you stay ahead of any changes in usage policies or limit management. 9. Consider resource optimization. If you're consistently hitting limits, consider optimizing your resource usage. This might involve shortening your prompts. Shorter prompts generally consume fewer tokens. Breaking down complex tasks into smaller requests. This can help distribute the workload and reduce the risk of exceeding limits. Using more efficient coding practices. If you're using Gemini for code generation, optimizing your code can reduce the number of tokens required. Utilizing caching mechanisms. If you're making repetitive requests, caching the results can reduce the need to generate new responses. 10. Understand the concept of rate limits. Beyond overall usage limits, you might also encounter rate limits. These limits restrict the number of requests you can make within a specific time frame. For example, you might be limited to a certain number of requests per minute or per hour. If you're making rapid-fire requests, you might encounter rate limit errors. It is important to understand that limits are not a static concept. They are subject to change based on various factors. Google might adjust limits based on demand, resource availability, or other considerations. Therefore, it's essential to stay informed and adapt to any changes. In the future, we can expect to see more sophisticated tools and dashboards for monitoring Gemini usage. As AI technology continues to evolve, the way we interact with it will also change. Remember, understanding your limits is not about restriction, it's about empowerment. It's about knowing how to maximize the potential of Gemini while ensuring a sustainable and equitable experience for everyone. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.